Good morning, everybody. This is Katya from Katya Home Properties, and today this is a huge day. First of all, thank you so much for coming. We have the TLA Escrow Company head's office here, I could say. Erin Curley, thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
Here.
Happy to be here.
And Sheila, everybody knows you, Sheila. Thank you for coming here personally. Can you guys introduce yourself, please? Who are you? Everybody heard of TLA that are in this business, I guess. It's one of the most well-known escrow company here in this town. Please tell about yourselves.
I'm Erin Curley. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of TLA. I'm based in Phoenix, and I'm lucky enough to be here today in Puerto Vallarta, visiting our office and working with our staff.
Thank you.
And I'm Sheila Hernandez. I am based in Puerto Vallarta's office. I am business development, and I've been with TLA for around 10 years.
Thank you guys so much. So today we are going to talk about the escrow company. Why is it important? Who needs it? Why do we need it in our everyday real estate transactions? So make sure you stay tuned and please have your questions. We're going to try to answer them as soon as possible. So let's start at the beginning. Let's go back to the basics. What is an escrow company? I get these questions especially from Canadian clients and Mexican clients. They are not really familiar with the term, right? And with the business, why we need this.
So an escrow company, we hold the money for a real estate transaction to make sure that all the terms of the transaction are met before we release the funds. So it provides security and safety to both the buyer and the seller to make sure that the transaction happens as planned.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, that was short and clear. This is always, difficult to the local people to understand why we need it to have the safety for both parties. Mm-hmm. So TLA is a US-based company. When did you guys see, and why did you guys see the need to establish branches here in Mexico?
So TLA was started in 2014. We spun out of a US-based title and escrow company, and when they spun out of that company, they partnered with David Connell down here in Puerto Vallarta, and so that we need a presence down here because we're working with agents, brokers, attorneys in Puerto Vallarta and Los Cabos, where our other office is, around Mexico. And so we want that presence to be able to have that local connection with folks.
So you guys have two branches, one in Vallarta and one in Los Cabos.
Yeah. But our main office is in Dallas, Texas.
Okay, so in a transaction, I mean, I know from the real estate side, we open the escrow account, we send 10% onto escrow, the notary does its transactions or do whatever they need to do, we get to the closing table. What are the documents from the very beginning you guys asking for from the clients that makes gives you the background of safety of saying, okay, we have everything established?
Oh, that's a really good question. Something that I've seen over the years is our KYC form. We've developed it into a form where we can screen off clients' names. So that is like priority for us to have our KYC. We also require a form of identification from the parties, both buyer and seller, and have our escrow agreement executed.
Okay, so these are the three things, and then you guys are, when you have information from both parties, you creating the escrow agreement,
yeah,
right?
That's correct, yes. We draft the escrow agreement, send it back to the parties to have it executed.
Okay, so let me ask you something, Erin. So I got a couple of times objections when they read the contract, the previous contract you guys had, saying TLA is based in the United States. So if they have any legal situation in Mexico, how would this be treated? What's your solution for that? Because I remember you said you changed something in the contract.
Yes, that's correct. So just recently, we have added an option to our escrow agreement to allow for arbitration in Mexico should there be a dispute between the parties.
Okay, I think
So that is an option
this
today.
was very important.
Yes.
That's great. Okay, so title insurance. I know that here we do things differently than in the States. In the United States, they use title companies, in the majority of the times. So I do not see too often that clients are using title insurance here in Mexico. It is because the notario has different roles, or what is the reason for that? And if you see the same things, maybe it's just me.
Well, yeah, no, that's true. We don't really often see title insurance being required in Mexico, except for developments. We do have large developments that we work with, and they tell their buyers you have to purchase title insurance. But so title insurance basically covers anything outside of what we normally call CLA in Mexico. That is anything that is not recorded or registered in the public registry. So
Okay.
it covers anything outside of that, which is the whole entire point of having title insurance.
Okay, interesting. So here basically, because the notary's task is before the closing,
Right.
checking if it has a lien on the
Correct.
property, you don't, the majority of the cases we don't need this.
Well, the majority of the cases just, they say, okay, well, I have the CLA, the no lying certificate agreement, I can just stay with this.
Yeah, I gotcha. What are the documents? We are at the closing table, signed. The notario sends in all the required documents. What are these required documents, and what are you guys checking before you can, give the semáforo verde, the green light for releasing the funds?
That's a really good question. We do require to have our disbursement instructions. We have a form of disbursement instructions. We need to have it completely signed by both parties and have two witnesses also sign it. We check, we kind of review and compare the signatures to the previous documents that we received. And most importantly, we call each beneficiary that we are sending out funds to verbally verify their wire instructions. We have recurrent clients or agencies where we already have their information and they've been confirmed, we have them in templates. Those are not necessary, but if we are first time sending out funds to beneficiary, we have to have a verbal verification.
This is great.
There-
And not too many escrow companies are doing that, according to my knowledge.
That is important.
Yeah. So, can you share with us some stories when you guys detected fraud or somebody was trying to do something?
Yes, this was a couple months ago. It was in an operation that we had in Los Cabos. It was a $7 million deal that we
Goosebumps.
Yes, $7 million deal that we stopped the fraud. We have different filters of security in our emails and our phone calls. We have a portal where you upload all sensitive information, so this isn't sent via email, because that's where the majority of the fraud happens. And in this case, that was an attempt of fraud via email.
So they
7
sent a
million.
different
Yeah, they sent
account.
different wiring instructions. We noticed the signatures looked different. We were calling to make sure. It was an odd sort of a situation with the parties, but we kept asking the questions because there were red flags. And so we didn't stop until we made sure, we wanted exact confirmation that they were legitimate. And it turns out the wire instructions were not legitimate.
Oh my goodness.
Right. Yeah.
What would have happened?
Well, once the money goes out, there's little we can do. The bank sometimes it can stop, stop wires if you realize it soon enough. But these criminals are sophisticated, so often the money goes to another account and then immediately it's going out from there. So it's really important, these security measures that we have put in place. Our portal, that's a secure portal.
Tell us about it, because I realize it's different.
But it's different, and some people, I know it adds a step and it can seem cumbersome to folks, but it's just so important. There's dual authentication to get into it, so we verify the users when you log in. You only have to do that once. So it's a web-based portal, and that's how we communicate our wire instructions, and we require or ask strongly that all of the clients then save all of their information to that portal to be sent to us, and that's how we retrieve it. So it's not going through a Gmail account.
And a PDF file uploaded that we used to do in the old times.
Right, easily intercepted by these criminals. They just get out there and lurk, and they watch, and then until they see the bank information go across, and that's what we're trying to eliminate.
And with the last phone call, right?
Right. And there's the last phone call. And so by collecting also, Sheila touched on collecting our Know Your Client, Know Your Customer form, the KYC form up front. We're asking for phone numbers, the wiring instructions up front. So we have that. So oftentimes we will be alerted of an issue if there's a last minute change. But because we're asking for it up front, we have something to verify it against.
Okay. Wow. Wow, that must have been an exciting one. You guys must have celebrated after all.
Like, oh my gosh, what if we didn't,
Yeah.
close call. But our procedures worked, so we were very excited about that.
I'm happy. So what sort of accounts do you have? If somebody wants to be getting more and more peso deals, do you have a peso account, or are you only managing US dollar account?
We have pesos account, we have Canadian account, US dollar account, and recently Euro account. All those with our bank BMO. We also work with Alliance Bank. Just if the client just doesn't want to use BMO, we have a second option.
Okay, so the majority of our transactions are in US dollars, but because of the peso is so strong, we're getting more and more peso transactions. So it's good to know that you guys you have that.
And our bank at BMO, we are able to get very preferential exchange rates too. So it's
I realize that. It's true.
Save a lot of money for our clients with the exchange rates that we're able to get with BMO.
So you can do somebody sending US dollars and exchange it and having a peso sent to a peso account if it's needed, and so on and so on. So I'm sure you guys have a million questions. Please feel free to reach out to the expert. We're gonna have their email. Their email is here. So feel free to reach out to me or to them. We would be very happy to help you guys. And if somebody wants to visit you personally here in Puerto Vallarta, how can they do that?
Yes, we have offices in Marina by El Faro. We are there from Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Thank you again so much. I'm so glad that we made it, and I'm so happy to have you here in our first interview in our new office. Thank you so much for all this valuable information. Thank you guys so much for watching, and again, please feel free to reach out to them or to me if you have more questions. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Ciao.
Thanks.